Opposition NDC accuses Electoral Commission of conniving with the governing NPP to register minors, foreigners and massage figures on the new electoral roll. The party is tonight demanding an independent audit of the system.
In the Efija East constituency, the registration exercise at the district office of the EC, which was reserved for the aged and persons with disabilities, was used to register minors. So we did analysis of our figures and EC's figures, and in all this there were discrepancies.
More as the NDC alleged the EC is scheming to disenfranchise more Ghanaians in the party's strongholds.
All these well orchestrated moves by the EC and its accomplices to foist Akufo-Addo and the MPP on Ghanaians for 4 more years will not wash.
We'll interrogate the claims and hear from the EC. Top story is brought to you by Bond Savings and Loans. Your success, our passion. Gasam, the nation builder, and Vodafone. The future's exciting. Ready? I am Ernest Manu. It's been 4 days since the Electoral Commission finished the controversial compilation of a new voters register. The main opposition NDC has been scrutinizing the numbers, and tonight, finally, they have gone public with a raft of serious allegations directed at the Electoral Commission. The party concludes that the EC has compromised the electoral process as part of a grand scheme to help President Akufo-Addo win his second-term bid. Let's start with claims of misreporting. Now, according to the NDC's Director of Elections, Elvis Ifriankra, the EC underreported figures in the strongholds of the NDC and inflated those of the NPP in the Ashanti region and other strongholds of the NPP. Listen to him give a breakdown of how they detected these incidents of alleged misreporting by the EC.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have discovered discrepancies in the data we collated and that of the EC, some of which the EC has referred to as mistakes emanating from reports submitted by their officers from the regions. Interestingly, while these mistakes are over-reporting figures in our opponent's strongholds, they are under-reporting figures in ours. In the Ashanti region, for instance, the EC has so far reduced figures they initially published by over 40,000 following our diligence. There are more corrections to be made to the Ashanti figures that we shall engage the Electoral Commission to correct the anomalies. In the OT region, the EC underreported the figures by 10,127 at the end of phase 2. We drew the attention of the EC, but they continued to publish the wrong figures. At the end of phase 4, the EC underpublished OT figures by 14,124. So EC had 22,109 and NDC had 226,109 and the NDC had 240,233. Our continuous engagement with the regional EC office has resulted in a current deficit of 1,079. So as we engage them and draw their attention, but there's still a deficit as at the end of phase 6. We expect nothing short of total correction of the figures from OT, because we are all getting the figures from the same source. Start of day, end of day, we take it, we scan it, we do the analysis, we check. So at the end of the day, we must all get the results. And this is simple addition. It's not any multiplication or any strange equation. Simple. 100 people registered here today, the following day 70 people registered, the following day 200 people, the following day, you add all up, we must all get the same thing. So we are not going to take any shenanigans from anybody. Again, the EC has been consistently inconsistent with the figures they have put out through let the citizens know media encounters. On July 10, 2020, the EC put out a figure of 3,442,954, comprising 2,264,207 for the first 6 days and 361,030, 418,610, 399,107 for the 7, 8, and 9 days respectively. However, On July 28, 2020, the EC put out 2,202,405 for the first 6 days. 61,802 less than what was initially reported for the same period. Also, data collected for the 7th, 8th, and 9th day were reported differently. I'm sure some of you have it. Yes, so you have to project it. So if you look at the figures in there, you have the figure for phase 1, 10th of July, you have figure for 28th of July, you have the figure for 7th of August. You go to phase 2, 10th of July is not applicable. But you look at 28th July and 7th of August, you see that there are differences. And these are the EC's own figures. So we did analysis of our figures and EC's figures, and then the EC's figures on different dates, 10th of July, 28th of July, 7th of August. And in all this, there were discrepancies. On election day, if they come and give us discrepant figures, what do you think will happen in this country?
They then accused the Electoral Commission of being complicit in the registration of foreigners. You recall that the EC chairperson yesterday announced that some foreigners have found their way onto the voters' register. Now, this is despite the fact that there are over 33,000 cases of challenge of eligibility yet to be determined. Well, today, Mr. Friankra says there are at least 66 Ivorians on the register whose names must be deleted. Listen.
Again, evidence available to us shows that in the Efija East constituency, the registration exercise at the district office of the EC, which was reserved for the aged and persons with disabilities, was used to register minors. You have that, you have the photos. Yes, show them. We have and then again, we have credible and incontrovertible evidence that the district electoral officer for Sector South, by name Madam Emilia Anderson, applied to the MP, the sitting member of Parliament who is an MPP MP, in a letter dated 7th March 2020 for financial assistance of an amount of 14,000 cedis to support her in pursuing a master's degree program at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So while registration was going on, the officer was applying to the sitting MP for support 14,000. We have the letter. Is there? Paper Miller, have you seen it? Honorable Member of Parliament, Efija Peace, Ashanti Region. Dear Madam, application for financial assistance. I humbly approach your big office to come to my place and support you financially to do my fees of 14,000 to pursue my master's program in the public administration. I pray everywhere. I will know the admission letter and fees for your necessary action. Thank you for your cooperation and something. This is official. This is what we have been able to find out. How many more of this haven't we found out? We are by this medium calling on the EC to investigate this conduct of the electoral officer in question and take the necessary disciplinary action against her, since this act compromises her independence and brings the name of the EC into disrepute.
So that's Elvis Ifrianka, rather talking about the claim of registering minors in the Efija, etc. East constituency in the Ashanti region, and he claims that the EC district office there was the center for this illegality. Let's go back now and listen to him make the claim about the registration of foreigners. He further claims that the NPP in Banda specifically facilitated the registration of 66 Ivorians, and they are demanding that their names be removed from the register.
They mounted a sustained campaign and propaganda, shouting on the rooftops that there were foreigners on our voters' register as the reason for calling for the compilation of a new register, only to turn around and to open the border for Ivorians to enter and register. If this is not hypocrisy, then I don't know what it is. Having been exposed, John Bredu, my friend, and General Secretary of the NPP, and the NPP shamelessly called a press conference to accuse the NDC for a crime that they, the NPP, committed, where there was overwhelming evidence. We wish to assure the people of Ghana that we shall pursue this matter to its logical conclusion. We are calling on the Electoral Commission to thoroughly investigate how persons whose eligibilities were challenged found their ways of obtaining their voter ID cards without going through the adjudication process. We are calling for the prosecution of all the MPP and EC officials who connived to commit this grievous crime. The names of all the 66 Ivorians must be deleted from the register immediately.
That's Elvis Ifuye Anchor. He's the Director of Elections for the opposition NDC. Let's go into the phone lines now and speak to the Director of Electoral Services for the Electoral Commission, Dr. Siribo Kweku. He joins us on the line. We've also been joined by the Director of Elections for the governing NPP, Evans Nimako. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Let me start with you, Dr. Siribo. The claim of the EC massaging figures from the just ended registration exercise is one that is of interest to me. Let me start first of all by asking you, have you ever engaged the NDC on the figures you put out daily during the Let the Citizens Know series?
No, the political parties are giving the end of day report that have the figures. Then they will compile them and give them to us. But what we should understand is that this one are just functional figures. The natural figures will be what will go into the data center and for the data itself. So these things are like, this is what we are getting. But to hit the data center, there are no data. So the data center, when you get the data center, then that's where we can be brought the register and the rest of. So these are just estimates. And massaging, if you get 100, and I say you have gotten 50. So when we go to the tell you that there's 100. So these are not issues to be fighting over.
So the point I want you to establish for me is that has the NDC at any point in time drawn the attention of the Electoral Commission to any discrepancy in the figures put out by the EC?
Not to my knowledge, please.
Not to your knowledge?
Yes.
How about any engagement at all that has led to the review of figures from any part of the country?
No, I think we have two issues on the Central region, but where it was the region that who together that instead of doing the daily computation, they were doing cumulative computation. So for example, if today it was 2, the next day 3. Instead of making 2, 3, they will make it 2, 5. And the region that who together it and called their attention, it was ratified, and he told them that they should give it to anybody who was given a copy. So if you go to a different level at the community executive and the rest, I don't think there were any problem with them. So these are issues which maybe I say the approach which was wrong. Instead of giving them on the daily figure, they were giving cumulative figures. So these are no issues.
So in the case of Asante Mampo, for instance, has that issue been reconciled? Have you resolved that issue?
Asante Mampo, I'm not aware what is the issue. I know of such as South and Offensive North. These are the two. And what is the issue about Asante Mampo?
We'll come to the details of that shortly, but in terms of the region, in terms of the regional breakdown, now the NDC accuses the Electoral Commission of underreporting in their strongholds. Now, let me read to you portions of the part on the OT region. It says that our continuous engagement with the regional EC office has resulted in a current deficit of 1,079 as at the end of the of phase 6. We expect nothing short of a total correction of the figures from the OT region. As far as the NDC is concerned, we have some 1,079 people who have been, disenfranchised or removed from the electoral roll, and they are asking that the EC addresses that.
My brother, like I was talking about, these are calculations based on the end of day report. So the data will be in the system to be exported. So if I'm doing the calculation and I make a mistake, when the data hits the data center, the figures will come up. And the most important thing is that once you are duly registered, you have been given an ID card. You will have an exhibition. So if you are duly registered, and if you really think the commission decides to remove you, And during the exhibition period, you come with the ID card, and it will be exposed. So nobody in the electoral committee will be interested in suppressing any figure or disenfranchising anybody.
Mr. Serebo, we understand that the EC is doing an audit, there will be deduplication and all of that to make sure that you clean the voters register. But you have consistently put out figures as a Let the Citizens Know series. You published it on your social media account as well. I just want to clarify that as we have it now, do you have on your table a situation where the NDC says 1,079 people have been taken off the register, and has that issue come to your attention?
Yes, brother. When you were calling, I was even at a meeting. I don't think they have made any official complaints about that. And let the citizens know figures. We always say that they are provisional figures. They are not final figures in themselves. So they are just provisional figures. Once we are doing that, we need to be updating you. So we say that these are provisional figures. They are not final figures. The final figures will come after we are finished with the exhibition, and that will be based on the actual data in the system. Then with respect to the duplication and the adjudication, the machine has flagged some people as having done multiple registration. And all those people, while we are doing the exhibition, the final figures will show that there will be multiple list register, which will contain all those who have been quarantined for doing multiple registration. Their names, their pictures, their fingerprints, everything will be there. So everybody can have access to and know that these are the people who have been quarantined for doing multiple registration. So there's nothing that you can hide about this exercise. We are so transparent. And the parties are giving daily end-of-day report. And daily end-of-day report contains the names of all those who registered for that particular day, including the time that they registered, plus their IDMS and the rest. So if anybody wanted to hide anything, why will we go further? And I can tell you that any party who wanted to compare the register can do so in the sense that if we are doing it for 6 days, so if you put the end of day report for 6 days together, that is a total number for that particular polling station.
As far as the NDC's claim of underreporting and inflating figures is concerned, the EC is saying that these claims are unfounded?
Exactly. It's not possible.
Now, the NDC is also raising issues with the deduplication and the cleaning of the register. They do not trust the Commission to do a fair job, and they're calling for an independent audit of the electoral roll as we have it now. How do you respond to that?
Now, there's a member of the NDC serving on the committee. So I will wish that he can also speak, because he has been part of the decision making and he has not complained. So if we can have Mr. Amateur Mensa, if we can get him, so that he has served on that before. So he appreciates what we are talking about. I thought somebody may speak because he's not been part of it. He may not appreciate what goes on.
But this is coming from the Director of Elections for the NDC. He must be in the know.
I don't know whether he has served on it, but I've mentioned Mr. Amateur Mensa, and he has been serving on it, and the current one is still serving on it. He sits by me whenever we are taking decisions, and he has never complained.
But is the EC open to the idea of having an independent body, take up or join the process of auditing the voter roll as we have it now?
I don't know whether you have heard of that before. The Electoral Commission will do a work. They will bring an independent. The Electoral Commission is independent. They will bring another independent. So once there's any issue, who will be held responsible? Is it the Electoral Commission or the independent committee? And if the independent committee, if they were to sit, the decision will bind on anybody. Would they accept even the results? Would they accept the findings? We are doing a professional work, and I believe when we finish, those who want to see the truth will see the truth.
Dr. Serebo, again, on the issue of registration of minors, they cite specifically the Efija East constituency, and they give the name of the electoral officer there as having led a process to register minors. And again, the name given, Emilia Anderson, we are told, is very known to the NPP in the region, in the constituency, and also to the MP there. Has this come to your attention throughout the process? Did you have any case of registration of minors from the Efija East constituency?
The issue is that anybody who is suspected to be a minor is supposed to be challenged. So if you identify somebody who is trying to register, you only use the challenge process. And that's what the chairperson said, that we have about 30,000 people who have been challenged for being minors and foreigners and what have you. The DRC is sitting on them, and their report will come and the commission will implement them. So if they have any, and one the benefit is that if we were not able to challenge the person for doing the registration, once we are doing the exhibition, you can still go and object to their name, and then the judge will sit on them and adjudicate on them. So if you knew they were being registered as minors, they should be challenged during the registration. If we didn't hear of that, those who have the facts, they should object to their names during the exhibition and we'll work on them.
But will the EC take initiative to make sure that you really address these issues and sanction the officers involved if there's any fact or truth in the case?
We should speak to fact. So if you're saying somebody, the last message you have raised the issue. Because for now, we have already finished the registration. Did they see it in the course of registration, and what did they do? If they challenge them, then the committee will be sitting on them. If they did not challenge them, they have their facts. They should do so during the exhibition time.
Now, just finally, Dr. Serbo, before you take leave of us, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission yesterday said that foreigners are on the register. I know you have a lot of cases, challenge cases, that you're yet to determine. How did the Commission come by this conclusion that indeed there are foreigners on the register?
No, that's what I already said. We have 30,000 people who have been challenged. And I walk out with this challenge. They were challenged for being foreigners, they were challenged for being minors underage, and they were challenged for non-residential.
But when the Electoral Commission chairperson says there are foreigners on the register emphatically, without having gone through the process.
Some people have even been jailed. Some Nigerians have been jailed. Some Nigerians have been jailed. Some Togolese have been jailed. So the courts have even started sentences on people.
Dr. Serbo, thank you for your time here on Top Story. That's Dr. Serbo Kwaku. He is the Director of Electoral Services for the Electoral Commission. Let's go on to the other phone lines now and speak to the Director of Elections for the New Patriotic Party, Evans Nimako. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. Specifically, the NDC says you arranged for some 66 Ivorians in the Banda constituency to register. How do you respond to that?
Well, thank you very much for having me. I think that the NDC has been very reckless and irresponsible in their statement. I mean, at the commencement of the new registration process, the installation of the new voter management system, we knew the position of the NDC. And so I don't want us to spend too much of our resources discussing their position. It won't change. They run a series of press conferences. The outcome the good people of Ghana have seen, that majority of the people who are eligible to register turn out to register in their numbers. I mean, a situation where we would have gotten close to 20 million people on the electoral roll. It's not what we are having here. We are having a little above the previous register, which was 16.8 million. Now we have 16.9 million as reported by the EC. Issue of adjudication is something that is ongoing, and so it doesn't surprise me much that the NDC will say that they will need an independent body to audit the register, a register that is in the process of being compiled, a register that has reached the state of adjudication, and the NDC has rep on the National Adjudication Committee. So I'm surprised that Mr. Fianka himself will be mounting the podium, but I'm not too surprised because their national chairman first raised the issue about the deduplication. I guess he had difficulty with this new IT infrastructure.
But Mr. Nimako, I understand you are on the committee that is doing the audit, the deduplication and all of that of the voters' roll. Are you saying that you've not had to deal with cases of minors or foreigners being on the register?
There are cases of challenges, and part of it is being done at the district level. So we have the district adjudication committee, and part of it also is at the national level where the deduplication is being done. The deduplication is mainly an issue of people who have done multiple registrations, either by event of accident or intentional. And so a team has been set up, and that's what is happening. The case of the adjudication at the district level, that is where challenges that were reported, filled by parties at the registration centers are being adjudicated. And so, for instance, in Cape Coast North, where our agents realized that the NDC parliamentary candidate has supplied false information to secure the voter ID, it was challenged. And at the district adjudication level, the ID card was taken away from him. So that is that stage. And I have difficulty with Mr. Fianca that at this stage he cannot bring himself to appreciate the levels of cleaning or the processes that the registration exercise will have to go through. That when the EC has established a national adjudication committee, you are now calling for an independent body to audit the register. It is in the same vein that they were calling on the EC to engage them to audit figures whilst registrations were ongoing. A 36-day registration exercise followed by 2-day mop-up. While the processes are ongoing, NDC calling for an audit. I mean, it amazes me. The issue of a figure section and then offense not. EC came out to say that their officers were giving accumulative figures, and they corrected them. NDC has constantly been calling this that figures are being suppressed. These are
on the issue of Ifija, the claim is about the registration of minors.
Registration of minors. Let the challenges that were reported go through the legal process, and we'll see the outcome. It is important that you, the media, will also help, because you are a key stakeholder and you need to be commended. This whole registration exercise, in most of the places, your reporters were there and you reported to the people of Ghana what really transpired. In the same vein, let's follow up to know at the adjudication level, at the district centers, what are really happening. And then we can report accordingly. I think that the NDC have lost the bit. The whole argument of adding birth certificate to each field, their whole position of challenging the process of establishing a new voters register, they lost it. They went to court, Supreme Court ruled against them. Their case was dismissed. I think that they still not recovered. This is the reason why Mr. Siedun Ketia will come and pretend to be a lawyer to explain to us the judgment of the Supreme Court.
Well, Mr. Nimako, as we wrap up on this, is the NPP open to the idea of having an independent body either join or take over the review, so that then we can have some fairness as the NDC makes the case as far as the new voter roll is concerned?
I think this cannot be supported by any legal framework. I mean, the EC has the legal mandate to compile the register.
Can you not come to a consensus on this matter?
I think at this stage it's needless. The process of cleaning it is being done. At the end of the registration and adjudication, the EC will do exhibition, which is supported by the CR91. At the exhibition stage, if any party feels that an individual is not supposed to be on the electoral roll, all you have to do is to object to the inclusion of that individual. So they wouldn't wait for the process to end. They would jump onto the field and give us false info. And I don't think that's the way to go. For us as New Patriotic Party, we feel that the leadership exhibited by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia have earned them the confidence of the people of Ghana, and they're going to vote for them massively. You know that at the close of December 7 elections, Mr. Mahama will be retired for good. The country is run by serious government as MPP, and then Ghana will go forward.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Thank you very much. That's the Director of Elections for the NPP, Evans Nimakoda. And let me say that we try to get the NDC back on top story to interrogate some of the claims and the figures they put out there. We're unable to reach anyone at yet. Once we do, we'll get them on the line to explain further some of the issues and claims that they put out there today at that news conference. Top story is brought to you by Bond Savings and Loans. Your success, our passion. GASM, the nation builder, and Vodafone. The future's exciting, ready. Now, Christmas has come early for all Vodafone Cash subscribers. You're secured and convenient. Vodafone Cash is the only network offering you a chance to send money to all networks via Vodafone Cash free of charge. Yes, you heard me right, free. No other network can give you such an amazing offer except Vodafone Cash. Just send an amount to a loved one as many times as you want on any network without paying anything. So what are you waiting for? Make payments, show your love, make contributions, and send all your money via Vodafone Cash to all networks. Dial *110# to send your money for free. That's it for Top Story News Night.